Hi there, Physics 131. The purpose of this video is to get you started with the MyLab and Mastering online homework system that I will be using extensively during this course. And Professor Harlow, who's teaching Physics 132, will also be using the exact same system. So for the next 8 months, you'll hopefully be pretty familiar with it. Now, let me just start with the reminder: the purpose of university is to learn. And in particular for this course, Physics 131, I'd like you to learn the material in the first 11 chapters of this college physics by Atkina. And so that's why we're here. And all of these things we're trying to do is to try to help you get as much as you can out of that and have that kind of be retained. That being said, let's take a look at the syllabus and the marking scheme. So whenever you're in a course, it's good to look at where your actual marks are coming from, because this helps us, it helps you sort of see where, what you need to do. So most of these are in-person things. The term tests are both in person on Tuesday evenings, October 11th and November 15th. The practicals are in person every week for 2 hours. And the final exam is in person, and that hasn't been scheduled yet, but it'll be in December. That's where most of the marks are coming from. But there's an extra 10% coming from online assignments on MyLab and Mastering. And that's the system I'm going to introduce you to today. And in fact, there's 3 different types of assignments. There's what are called dynamic study modules, or DSMs. These are adaptive assignments that lead you through, it's usually about 20 questions, 20 to 25 sometimes, or 24 I think is the most, questions that are based on a particular chapter from this book. And the idea is that you can start with them and sort of see where you're at, and you can bomb all of them and it's fine. But it gives you a way of kind of checking how well you're doing with the chapter. And so there are links with it to the e-text of each chapter. You can keep on revisiting questions and kind of building up not only your knowledge, but also your confidence in your knowledge. And there are suggested, there are deadlines, I think, of them, but there's no time limit, so you can start them early and kind of read along. And the deadline is before I start talking about it in class. So the whole point here is to have you read ahead and get familiar with the material to a certain extent before we actually go through class. And in class, there are, I'll just skip to C here, learning catalytics assignments. Every class, you'll be hopefully having a device, maybe your phone, in which you log on to Quirkus, click into the Mastering, and you'll see an assignment there that'll come live during class. That'll give maybe between 2 and 5 multiple choice questions or different kinds of questions during class that you can discuss with your neighbor. And when you answer them, the results come up on the main screen in Convocation Hall. That's a way of livening up the classes and getting you thinking and working during these Monday, Wednesday, Friday 11 to noon classes. And then the third thing, which is B, is these homework assignments, and these come due after we've covered all of this material in class. And these are sort of end of chapter problems, or problems that are going to be quite similar in difficulty and in style to the questions you're going to be getting on the term tests and final exams. So these are these final sort of practice questions. And then just to keep in mind here, the 3 components, A, B, and C, will be each weighted to 100 points each, and then we'll add them all up. So although in principle, if you were to score perfect on all the assignments, you could get as many as 300 points. In reality, if your online assignment score gets up to 200 or more, it gets held to a maximum of 200, and you get perfect on the 10% of online assignments for the Scheme 1. So in this way, as long as you participate in and do well on at least 2/3 of all these available assignments, then you're going to get perfect on this scheme. And keep in mind too that Scheme 2, the whole difference here is that if you don't do the online assignments in MyLab and Mastering, or you get 0 on them or pretty low, then that weight gets transferred on to, I think, 3% points on the term tests and 4% on the final exam. So as long as you do these in-person components and do well on them, your entire mark can be based on those. But it's possible to kind of boost your mark by doing these online MyLab and Mastering by quite a bit. So I would definitely recommend them, but in a sense, they're kind of optional. Okay, so those are the specific rules of this course. Next, I would like to go through the slides that were sent to me by my representative at Pearson to kind of guide you on how to get started. If you've never used this before, how do you register and get it all set up? Okay, so on the Quarkus page, on the left side, you'll see a link called MyLab and Mastering. You click on that. Then you will see this sort of yellow Open MyLab and Mastering button. Then you click on that. And then if this is your first time using it, then you'll be asked to sign in. So if you've used a Pearson product before, you'll have a Pearson account, and so you can just sign in with your existing username and password, which will remember all your previous purchases and stuff. If you haven't done that, then you just create a new Pearson account, which you can have for the rest of your life. Then, if you purchased a code at the bookstore, this is where you redeem it by clicking on Access Code. And here is a link, and these are in the slides that I posted in PDF. You can click on that, or also in the announcement itself, which leads you to the U of T campus bookstore and gives you an option to purchase this code. I think it's $115. And if you don't want to do that right now, if you're waiting on financial aid or you want to try the product, give it a try before you actually spend money, you can click on Get Temporary Access Without Payment for 14 days. And that's totally fine. And if during the next 14 days you figure out that you do want to buy it, you click on it and it just updates. And all that work that you've done just gets saved. So it's completely a free trial for the first 14 days, which there's really no downside to doing that. Okay, and then, so there it is, access code. If you didn't purchase the access code, you can just get it for $50, although I would recommend to go to the bookstore, because then you get the whole e-text as well, sort of the cheapest thing. So all done, as easy as 1, 2, 3. You click on the course invite link, so that yellow button, you sign in, and you select your access option. You have to disable pop-up blockers. So one of the weird things about MyLab and Mastering is that it does use pop-ups. So if you are blocking pop-ups, then you'll have to allow them just for this particular website. So good luck with that. And then you sort of see all the assignments. So if you click on assignments, you'll see anything that I've posted there. And I have posted a couple of things. I think this is the dynamic study modules should be visible to you, and maybe one of the homework assignments. Also, I personally like to read things in print. You can see this whole bookshelf behind me. I find that in order to really learn and absorb stuff, it kind of helps me to go over, sit on the couch, get my book or something, and read through it. So they have this, I think it's actually a loose leaf option, so you would need to get a binder, but they'll basically mail you the entire textbook if you click on Buy the Printed Textbook. And I believe it's $65, but you can get a discount 50% off. The special U of T discount code is FIZFall22. And just to give credit where credit is due, it was Professor Harlow, who is your professor in January for Physics 132. We were on a call with the Pearson representative, and it was Professor Harlow who really pushed for this discount and got it. I was surprised that she asked for it even, and I guess she's pretty smart and drives a hard bargain, and got you all 50% off of that. Because it's important to Professor Harlow and to me that you're able to read this book in whatever way is sort of best for you. I think different people learn differently. So, okay. Research shows that it really helps to do actual practice tests like these homeworks, or even like the dynamic study modules. Here's an old study in which they measure the facts that are recalled versus time after you've studied or read something. And then so they give you a final test, but some of the students in yellow just spent a certain amount of time studying harder. The ones in blue didn't take that extra time, but instead did a practice test like on mastering, and you can kind of see the percentage of facts recalled is much higher, especially a week later. It's more than double than just studying more, as if you actually try these things. And so that's the whole idea. Mastering helps you study smart and study less. Okay, so spending less time on the physics, but actually gaining more from it by actually testing yourself. The e-text, Pearson and a lot of these textbook publishing companies really like e-texts because they, I guess it's how they're making money. But you know, you can note take and highlight your own version of it very easily on the e-text. You can put in your own notes, so that's kind of a nice thing. It helps you reread stuff. You can search for keywords. The e-text is linked up to the dynamic study module, so there are a lot of advantages actually to having the e-text, which maybe that's the way things are going these days. And then there's a lot of little help windows. Remember, you've paid towards this this Pearson account, which lasts for at least 24 months. If you've ever, if you took it last year or something, you can use that same account. And you shouldn't have to ever buy this textbook twice. Okay, I think even after the 24 months, we should be able to set you up so that you can get that same thing. So it should, in reality, last you for the rest of your life. Even if you take this course 4 years from now, whoever the professor there is should be able to get you helped out. So don't hesitate to ask for help. You can click on that button. You can ask me. I have a special link to Jessica over at Pearson, who's been very responsive and helpful. So that's it for that. Good luck, and see you in class. Bye.